What up? It's Ali Shaheed Muhammad, and you're watching Montreality. Quiet, astute, got very good grades. Didn't like playing hooky. I had the big guilty conscience if I cut class, so I was really good. I went to high school with a Q-tip. Man, growing up, I took a job as kind of like this contractors. I don't want to say like apprentice, maybe like an assistant. It's a guy that lived on the block I lived on. His dad was a contractor, and on the weekends we would go on jobs with him. I might have been like 12, 13, putting in gates, drilling hole into the bricks, masonry, putting up sheetrock walls, ceilings. That was like the first like real job I had. I was really proud of that little weekend mission. My boy didn't appreciate it because he wanted to get away from his father, but for me it was just like I didn't have that sort of environment, so it was cool to be in that and kind of like learn a trade, something that actually helped me as I got older. When I bought my first home, I built my own studio just based off of the experience from that. After that, in high school, I was like 15, I got this job that I worked at only one day at this place called The Wiz, and it's kind of a popular electronics store. It used to be, it no longer exists in New York, but Biz Markie made a song. It was called Nobody Beats the Wiz. It was like Nobody Beats the Biz, but he got it from The Wiz because that was their commercial.
Nobody beats the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz.
My uncle was a manager at one of the stores. He hooked it up, but I was too young. I was 15. In New York City, you had to be 16 to work there. So the manager of that particular store was like, man, you're only 15, you can't work here. And I was heartbroken because in addition to selling electronics, they sold records there. So I was a collector early on, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a discount, it's gonna be lovely, and I was heartbroken. But after that, I got a job as a messenger, and then from there, I worked like as a stock boy in a shoe store. I bought a sampler, drum machine. I did the dumb thing and bought like this bag to carry what I thought was gonna be a lot of money. just you know, for real duffel bag boy. Back in '89, and my manager and I, at the time, Chris Lighty, who just recently passed, we went and bought cars. There's a lot of stories that I will never tell. But Chris was like, you know, he's like my big brother, and I used to roll with him and the Jungle Brothers doing shows and stuff like that, and I was really tight with Africa, you know, but it was like Chris and I had formed a bond after I met him. In terms of like, you know, the career guidance, he was a very hardworking person. He was the first person to show up to work in his business. He was like the last person to leave at times. So he was very dedicated, and I remember we were on a Public Enemy tour. It's like 1990, and it was us, Leaders of the New School. I think Ice-T was on one leg of that, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. So a lot of groups on that tour. Kid and Play was on like one leg, and we only got, I think they only gave us like 10 minutes. And Chris was like, don't be down about that. We were like, what can we do in 10 minutes? Like 10 minutes is like, by the time you take the time to walk to the stage, it's like, time is up. And Chris was like, you know, don't let this affect you. You guys go in and you make it the best 10 minutes ever. And, you know, we were like, cool. And then he was like, and we're not gonna hang out after the show. We're gonna go to the next city. You know, get a head start on everybody else. And we was like, what? Like, you know, this is our first big tour, you know, and Public Enemy was like icons to us, you know. So we wanted to be around in the environment, soak it up, you know. That's what part of the dream of making records is to go on tour, you know. But Chris was like, nah, I think we should leave and make sure we give it to him, the next city. And that pretty much early on, like, set the tone for us to really know how to take this opportunity as something serious that we can build on and really, like, you know, not, you know, we had fun and we enjoyed it, but it was just something that, you know, Chris was just trying to carve us out to, I think, appreciate that work ethic, and in order to be successful, there's certain things you have to do. So there was that. And, you know, last thing I'll say is that Chris, oh my God, I miss him so much, man. Like, I had moved to from Brooklyn to Jersey City when the group started to get popular, and Chris was like, he came to my apartment and he was like, man, I'm moving to your building. He wound up moving in. He was right downstairs, one floor below. So it was kind of like a frat house between my apartment, Chris' apartment, and my uncle, who also lived on the same floor. So it was just, you know, we were always just like doors open, and it was just a lot of fun. I miss that brother. The key to success, in my opinion, that's a very good question. It's a loaded question. I don't know if I can really be concise, but I will say, one is knowing who you are inside is important. And once you have knowledge of yourself, then you can build on, you know, and figure out what it is that you wish to do with your life. And then the next thing is to come up with a plan. You know, you come up with a plan and you see it through, like, you know, beginning, middle, and end, like what's to happen, you know. And if you can start there, then you can begin to, you know, carve that out. I think the other thing, you know, to answer that question, though, is to figure out to you what success means. You know, for some people, it means different things. It could be success in career by making certain achievements. It could be doing something on a philanthropy kind of a thing. It could be just a matter of, you know, some people it could be having a lot of money, and other people it could be just being rich in your soul and spirit. I have a book there that someone gave me. It's called The Road to Mecca. The best time for me personally to read is when I'm on the road, I'm traveling. It just, you know, keeps my idle mind busy in a healthy, productive way. When I'm home and I'm working, I don't get to read as much because, you know, time I pull the covers off and, you know, give thanks for being alive this day, it's like, all right, let me go to my computer for 5 seconds just to check an email, and next thing you know, like 3 hours has passed, and so on and so forth. And then in terms of recording, producing, it's a bit much, but there's a lot of power in reading. Oh my God. I don't know. It's like, how did I get here? Where to next? Wow. Yo, the ultimate favorite is, and people who know me already know the answer before I say it. It's Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny was just, you know, a smart ass. You know, he was witty. He was the kind of guy that was minding his own business, and then something came along to disturb him or wanting to take his life, or just, you know, shake the peace out of his life. Mm-hmm. He had a very charismatic way of dealing with those sort of things. He would just, like, you know, do, you know, it could be anything, you know, a little move. If somebody like Elmer Fudd was chasing him, he'd just make a move, or, you know, someone go flying, or he would just, come back with these little quick lines that were really witty, and he was always singing. I will say that when I got older, I saw Bugs Bunny differently. I saw a lot of racial overtones in the cartoon, and a lot of propaganda, a lot of intolerance. So I don't love Bugs Bunny as much as I did, but that's what happens when you grow up. Yeah, I do. It's been like, I don't know, that was 2004 and we're like 2013, so I'm taking forever to finish this record. I have, at this point, probably recorded 3 albums, but I'm never satisfied, and it won't release until I feel that it's remarkable, and I hope you guys like it when I put it out. We talk about it, and especially with the documentary, I think it has stirred up the conversations, not in within the group, but just with the fans, really wanting to see another record, but we haven't talked about it, so no plans.
As far as Tribe, we're really far away from doing a joint effort right now, but basically I'd love to do it for the fans' sake, you know what I'm saying, because that's really what it's all about, so keep your fingers crossed, you never know.
Dilla, as he was in his music, he's very smart, he's a workaholic, and if you look at the Welcome to Detroit album cover, and you want to know about Dilla, there's more than what meets the eye. But on the surface level of knowing Dilla, you just look at that album cover, and I mean, it's all right there. You got the girl, stripper pole, you got my man looking like, the smoke's coming out his mouth, and obviously, he's taking his mind somewhere because there's a lot going on and he needs to relax it. No ink on me. And at some point, I think when I was like maybe 19, 20, and not even practicing as I should, my faith, I thought about getting a tattoo, but it was just something always inside that was just like, why, and seeing how trendy it is, I'm grateful to the creator that there was a voice inside that always just said when I went to do it, was like, no, don't. I feel that I can only speak for myself, that I'm not sure if I lived to be 80, 90, 100. My great-grandmother lived to be 106, her brother 101, so it's a possibility, only the creator knows. I don't think I would want to see, all that stuff, or maybe, you never know, but for me personally, I don't have any, and one thing I can say about myself, this is probably a bit egotistical or something, but I don't like being like someone else. There's absolutely, even twins have a uniqueness. That's how the creator made us all. So I just hate looking around. Like, I don't like seeing people wearing the same shoes I have on, So I try to always go in a different direction. And I would not want to stand around and look and see all these, this nice, lovely artwork and be like, man, I just look like them. I'm the same way in my music. I try to curve my music away from what's trendy, what's the end thing. It's just something in my makeup. Oh, wow. We don't have enough time. My message, I'll speak to the camera. My message to the youth is this world has a lot of good in it, and there are certain things that are not good and harmful. And usually what happens with the human psyche is the bad things like stand out. Try not to let it, veil the purity inside your spirit, because we're all, have greatness in us. And also, I will say, question everything. Culturally, we are raised to behave and act in a certain way. You're maybe 6 years old, you got to go to school. You have to begin this program, and it has to last 12 years. And then from there, you must continue on and go to a university, maybe another 4 to 8 years of your life. I mean, there's so much that exists in our movement, and a lot of it has been sculpted, not to the greater spiritual benefit inside. So let's just question everything, not to be disrespectful, but to seek knowledge, and through knowledge, you can overcome a lot. Montreality, peace.
I worked as a New York Knicks ball boy for like 2 weeks. My mom's took me out of that because my grades were falling off as a result of meeting Magic Johnson and all my favorite basketball players when I was younger. I thought nothing else mattered. So I did that for like 2 weeks.